And welcome back to Marquette on the Line. Marquette has announced the All-University Alumnus of the Year. Business, Advertisement, and Law School graduate Joseph Zilber has been named as the recipient for the award. Zilber is 91 years old and runs his own real estate empire, Zilber Limited. He has donated $30 million to the law school and has given an additional $50 million to Milwaukee neighborhoods. Alumni National Awards Weekend will be held April 23rd through the 25th. And the law school will be hosting U.S. District Court Judge Sarah Evans Barker of the Southern District of Indiana for this year's Hallows Lecture. She will be expanding on the ideas of Judge Richard A. Posner, who in his book, How Judges Think, said it was sometimes necessary for judges to also act as legislators. Judge Baker will discuss when and where it is appropriate for judges to use this approach. The event will be held 4:30 in room 307 of Sensenbrenner. Any of you Rihanna fans out there should pay close attention to this story. The university group Haven will be hosting a discussion called Should Love Hurt? Rihanna, Chris Brown, and Dating Today. The program will address celebrity couples, the frequency of dating violence, and what relationship violence means to Marquette couples. The program begins tomorrow at 5 p.m. in Schrader Hall's multipurpose room. Haven stands for Helping Abuse and Violence End Now and is a partnership of university departments and students committed to providing a safe environment for those affected by relationship violence and sexual assault and stalking. After going to that lecture, how about attending another one? Eugenie Reach is giving a talk entitled How the Biggest Fraud in Physics Shook the Scientific World tomorrow at 6 p.m. in the Weisler Auditorium. Reach will be talking about a famous experience where fraudulent data was uncovered several years later. This scandal led people to discuss responsibilities associated with co-authoring and reviewing scientific papers. Reach was the former features editor for New Scientist. This event is free and open to the public. And joining us tonight is Tribune reporter Jeff Engel. Jeff's story covers the Wisconsin Building Commission's rejection of Marquette's $10 million request for the discovery of learning complexes construction. Welcome, Jeff. We're so pleased to have you here.
Well, thanks for having me back on the show.
Oh, no problem. So this past Wednesday's decision was surely a disappointment for Marquette. Why was its request for the funding rejected?
Well, the governor, Governor Jim Doyle, is chair of the Building Commission. It's an 8-member committee, and it had some support at the beginning, but the governor and some other legislators felt that if they gave funding to Marquette, then it would kind of open the door to giving more funding to other private universities and in Wisconsin, and they were afraid that this could subtract funding from the public schools, which obviously is their number one priority.
True, I understand. So the Wisconsin Building Commission, but they have approved funding for Marquette buildings in the past, so what does this sudden rejections of funds mean for Marquette and other private schools in general, as you mentioned?
Well, it kind of sends the message at this point that maybe those private schools will have to look for other routes to get funding for building projects. Marquette is always looking at private donations. You know, they've received large amounts for Zilber Hall, Eckstein Hall, the new law school, as well as for the Discovery Learning Complex. And so they're just going to have to keep working to get more private donations. And you know, hopefully when the economy picks up, they'll be able to get more funding.
Yeah, hopefully. So. Now, the commission has instead given funding to UWM, a public college, so there is still hope that Marquette, though, will be able to receive this funding? It's
a little bit less clear. One of the senators I spoke to who was in support of Marquette's proposal, he said pretty much the only way that Marquette could get funding for the Discovery Learning Complex now from the state is when the legislature meets up in the summer. But he said there's probably not a huge chance of that happening, but you never know.
Right, so, true. You can keep your fingers crossed.
Right.
And since it is going to take longer and will be harder then to complete this project without their help, immediate help, does this mean that the complex's end result will have to be changed in any way?
From everything I've heard, nothing's going to change. It just depends on when they'll get the funding. The complex will happen. They've already got the plans figured out. It's just when the economy picks up and they can get enough funding.
Yeah, so we'll have to hear back from you then in regards to that. But thank you for joining us tonight again, Jeff Engel. It was a pleasure having you.
Yeah,
and good luck then with your story. I look forward to reading it later on.
Thank you.
Okay, and when we come back, I'll be talking to the Frisbee team about their recent success. Also, we'll have details on an upcoming chance for you to showcase your photography. Find out how after the break.